So what we're going to do today is we're going to go to Impact Tennis Academy, and I'm going to work out with one of their juniors. And I play a unique single style, so that's the whole goal. You're going to see something different, and then he's going to give you some tips on my forehand, my serve, and my overhead. So let's take a look at Impact Tennis Academy and Stephen Kuhn. So what's happening is, you do mini tennis. As a coach, I believe in mini tennis in the beginning because it's a good way to evaluate your hand-eye, find motor spin on ball. It's just weird to have someone do it to me, you know. But I truly feel that no matter how good you are, you can get some tips from someone that has a different look to the game. And Stephen Kuhn he's got a good eye and very simple tips. And so we're gonna go through what happened this day on this coaching session. And I learned a lot, even though it was very simple, you know. So you have opportunity, Impact Tennis Academy, Stephen Kuhn, standard warm up. We warmed up minis. We did 3/4 court, pink up ground strokes. I love the sound of the ball inside the indoor court. A couple volleys. It's a normal extended warm up. Like it probably took about 15-20 minutes. Your typical match warm up. Then we started to work on my overhead. Really interesting to do this. Just take a couple, you know. And there's a flaw in my teaching method. I never thought about it. I've always thought of the overhead as you reach up and you go through the ball heading down. And you eliminate levers. So there's less chance for errors. But there's also the physics behind it where if you use more wrist, I don't hit the ball high enough in the air. It hit too close to my body. And I don't go forward and I don't hold the ball in my racket. Because when I volley, I crop up on my grip. So he knows all these things. He knows how I'm following through down and then not using my wrist. So I'm trying to now use my wrist and make contact higher up and go more forward through the ball. And typically, like he's evaluating me now, but I'm not doing it. So it's pretty good because I'm visual and kinesthetic. So he does the demo, shows me, he shows what I look like, and my elbow placement too. I tend to have my elbow drops, and so he wants my elbow to reach up. So he wants my elbow to come over the top too, like that. Oh, when he hits the ball, he crushes it, man. And so I'm working on that part there. And it's a good session in terms of like that's all I need. And then once you show it to me, and I can work it out, I can move on. Like we can move on. Like you could have fed me like 15, 20 balls, and maybe I would have got it. But I think this will be a process. You're changing some muscle memory that I've never tried to do in my entire life. And the concept is to make contact in front, extend my arm as high as possible. At this point, he doesn't realize my elbow can't extend straight. I have an injury on my elbow. My elbow will not extend straight. And he does know I have an injury on my wrist. I don't have full range of motion on my wrist coming back. But it's okay coming forward. I don't go forward, so it's something I can work on. I'm just going to work forward, coming forward, contact high, and use the wrist. He actually didn't even snap his arm. He just used his wrist and he exploded the ball. Jeez. But it's a great tip and something I never thought about. What we have here is not the classic evaluation period, but he's right next to me. this is one good thing, like I noticed in Thailand they do this a lot. They have a hitter and the coach next to the person to get that side view of the contact point. And this is something I don't do in America. Like I used to always feed my student and being across from them.
Father past your shoulder. I hope it's early. So freeze the shoulder, let the arm snap more. And I rotate my shoulder can't snap, yeah. My arm can't snap.
We're doing the live ball implementation. Not a formal lesson, so it works out fine. And I guess Steve's relying on the fact that I've been coached a lot. So all I need is a couple reps, and I can feel what's happening already. I open that shoulder every time. I need to close that shoulder. I know I'm doing wrong too. I don't even have to see the video. I know what I'm doing wrong. And he's going through the kinesthetic part of it, where you just show your student the motion. So it's good because we talk about it. He shows it to me, visual. Then we do the kinesthetic where I feel it, and I'm working on this. But it's interesting too, as you do this, you start to see like it adds more power. Like I can't control the power. The hard part is when you train someone, or just even for me, like I have so much muscle memory. I've done something else. This is something I don't think about when I play, right? So since I don't think about it, it's hard for me to do this immediately. All right, we're here. We're talking about adding the next lever using my wrist. I never use my wrist because I thought it'd be better to have your whole arm hit the ball without the extended lever of the wrist. But if you use simple machines, the more levers you add, the more power you have. But we have to do a drill because I've never done this when I was a kid. I've never used my wrist. So my whole life, I've never used my wrist. So we're doing a simple drill to show me how to manipulate the ball with my wrist. The idea is I have good racket control when I volley. So logically, I could have good racket control when I hit ground strokes. And it's this idea here, point the butt cap to the target, and using my wrist, I flick the ball into the basket. Extremely difficult for me because I never use my wrist. And I'm primarily trying to use my wrist. I'm actually holding the racket very high. Here we're doing a crop up racket drill. So I point the butt cap at the ball and I try to flick the ball into the little basket using spin. This is more of a modern technique kind of thing because I never use my wrist to hit strokes. So it's really hard for me to do this. Now he's trying to push me back and bring me forward and push me left and right to develop the feel for the contact point and the swing. It's butt cap to the ball and hand action without using my shoulder. Very difficult for me to do. The idea is the butt cap lags it, and you make contact and go through. And it's a simple drill, but it's hard to do. Every time I get a step in terms of mastery, I get pushed into doing something else. It keeps it interesting, but this is very difficult for me to do. So it's going to take me a little while to practice this. And I was asking a question like, where to make impact on the frame, and he said top the frame, pull through.